You are tuning in to Cannon Kick Wrestling, and you're about to hear from me, Rev, the Grunge City Prophet.
Hello and welcome to Cannon Kick Wrestling's first ever Superstar Spotlight. Today I'm joined by the Grunge City Prophet. He is the anti-saint. He is Rev.
Alright.
Hello Rev, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Brilliant. So basically what this series is, we're going to take guys that are on the up, so from all over the UK. I mean, Rev, we're lucky to have you here from Scotland.
Yeah.
Now based in the northeast,
Yes.
Training with Contract Wrestling Academy.
Yeah, currently with Contract Wrestling Academy, working my way into the professional shows. I've also been picked up by Shield Pro Wrestling down in South Shield. So yes, getting my name in and around the wrestling world, so it's good.
So you've now been training for a couple of years now, I believe, yeah?
Yeah, I think in total I've trained for about 2. Just completed my first rookie year. So trained for 2, been wrestling for at least 1. Started wrestling training with NGW down it was in Berkeley, and they were in the boxing hall. So I was learning to take bumps in a boxing ring, which isn't the most pleasant feeling, but it wakes you up to what you're in store for. Started there, sadly, just due to took a back injury, so that took me out for a bit, just from training, not just at wrestling, but training physically. Took a back injury, then they moved to the new premises. Once they got there, started going again, but it just became too difficult to make it on I think it was Tuesday they were training. So I had to drop out. Assassin started opening up Contract Wrestling Academy with more days to train, so I thought I'm going to go along, start there, and that's where I'm at just now.
Great, so you're the current Contract Academy Wrestling Champion.
Contract Wrestling Academy Champion. Get it right, man.
Oh man. Contract Wrestling Academy Champion.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes. Currently I'm the CWA Champion.
That's a much easier way of saying it, yeah.
I've held it since October last year, where I won it in a Grunge City street fight, Contract Pro Wrestling. I defeated Jonah Phoenix, who was the inaugural champion. We had quite a heated feud. We don't like each other, but we bring out the best in each other. It was quite a memorable match, because it had 2 tables which did not break, which made it so much more worse. I got my head slammed into a table via German, which didn't happen. He then proceeded to try spear me through it, which did not happen either. I got a bit of revenge by trying to grunge plunge him from the top rope into the table, which didn't work. I think he got more whiplash than anything.
It was terrifying. I refereed that one. I refereed both the other matches as well, I believe.
Yeah, you were the ref.
Because there was a trilogy of matches between yourself and Jonah.
Yeah, we had three matches, which led to the street fight. Our first match was at the first CWA show, where we both main evented. Probably my favourite with Phoenix. The second one we had at the following Contract Wrestling Academy show, and that was fun too, because that was really, our first match was, we're competitive, we're going to go at it, see who's best, and he came out the best. The second one, I thought, screw you, I want to be champion, I'm going to prove that I should be champion. So I decided I'd knock him in the face with a chain, and I'm not letting him win by a pin,
It's a fight.
Yeah, and then our third and final one was the Grunge City street fight, where I ultimately prevailed out of exhaustion, but perseverance saw me through.
It was a brilliant trilogy. That it was your breakout moment into the wrestling scene. Coming up as a trainee now, what do you think? Obviously you're wrestling for other promotions now, like Shield. What do you think makes a promotion interested in a trainee from the start? Because you were very sort of early in your career when you were picked up by Shield. What do you think? What sort of qualities should trainees be striving for to get outside of their own promotion?
It's one of those things where so many people. There's people out there who can wrestle.
Yep.
But they may not be able to do a promo correctly. Well, then there's people who can promo but don't have the wrestling skills.
Yeah.
And then I also think in this day and age, as a professional wrestler, if you are training, you've also got to be physically fit and you've got to be mentally fit. So there's a lot of aspects that I think you need to have your finger in each of them. You got to have a nice balance of each one, I think, to really come through. And you gotta be marketable.
Yeah.
Because a promotion, if they're going to bring you in, they're going to bring you in so that they can create money in their pocket, which is what a promotion is all about.
Yeah.
And you've got to then obviously be a marketable persona and wrestler, and also help in the graft by doing 100% of your best work wherever you are, regardless. So I think for me, one of the benefits is I'm not amazing at promos, but I can talk. And part of that is because I was a church minister for a long time. So I know I can go off script and talk about something that I'm comfortable in. So so I think for me, part of it is I've got a good promo side, which is where maybe some wrestlers lack. So I would definitely say to anybody who's listening to this as a young up and coming wrestler, start working, talk to yourself in the mirror, or in my case, cut promos on the cat. You know, like there's just practice. I cut promos on my wife, and she tells me if they're good or if they're crap, or she usually just laughs because I look stupid doing it. But it's practice. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's brilliant. So with that, you've obviously got your foot in the door now at Shield, where on this Saturday just gone, you competed for their almost pro championship.
I did indeed. Main evented at their 106 miles to Shield anniversary, which was an interesting fact about that was a year ago at the exact same show where I debuted for Shield, and I ended up having an accident, which is I fell out the ring after getting caught with the top rope whiplash. It's on YouTube, you can go find it, you can see what it was like. Got knocked out for about 7-8 minutes. They had to get me to hospital, so the ambulance came. Thankfully I was fine. The knockout probably saved my life. So a year on from having my debut that wasn't really a debut to last Saturday past where I actually main evented against the showman Davenport, where I came up short, but I definitely left a mark, and I think that's part of my goal is I'm leaving a mark with my character and with what I can do as a wrestler.
Well, that was the thing, because this past weekend I refereed 2 of your matches. I refereed one on Friday for Contract and one on Saturday for Shield.
Yes.
And you were wrestling 2 guys that have been part of the industry for a long time now in Davenport and Weapon X.
Yes.
And you kept pace with them perfectly.
Yeah.
And you were the perfect antagonist to 2 guys that I've loved in their respective promotions.
Yes.
And that's the thing, like, I just want to point out is that there is a place for sort of the cool bad guy in wrestling, but you really are like a bad guy's bad guy. Like you cheat to win. Yeah. You get the job done. Yeah. And I just think that is an important place in wrestling for a bad guy to be a bad guy.
For sure.
And not just to try and sell t-shirts.
Well, I think it was Chris Jericho ages ago, like when he came back and he was saying Conor on a stupid idiot.
Yeah.
And like people wanted that on a t-shirt, and he said, I'm not going to give that to them because I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I see that very much for myself. As much as an independent wrestler, we want merch sales. I would rather have people talk about he's such a nasty pleb.
Yeah.
Like that will help spread things like he's such a good bad guy. And I think it's what the promotion asks of you, regardless of how you feel about your character. If the promotion asks you to do something, do it with 100% of what you can. Of course, you can go back and say, I'm not sure, like, is this how you want me to do it, or is this, do you want me to go in this direction? You know, what if we did it? You can throw in and say, could we do it this way? There's nothing wrong with that, because you know your character, you know your persona, you know what they would do. But at the end of the day, my job is the promotion's brought me in, they're going to pay me for my match and whatever else they need me to do, and I'm going to do the best I can for that promotion.
Yeah, that's spot on. I think that's probably the best possible outlook to have on wrestling, where it is kind of a business where you do what you're told. It's similar to like, well, anything really. If you've got a job, you're paid to do that job, get it done. But it's the little bits of like your character that come out in between. So like what we spoke about on Saturday regarding the show from Friday, when you burst through the curtain on Friday night, you look like you were ready to kill someone. And it's like, it's brilliant to see the development of you in the time that I've known you as a wrestler, because you already had the basics when I first met you. You obviously trained at NG previously.
Yes.
But to see the growth in the past year has just been very impressive.
Yeah.
And basically, I would just like to talk about what your goals are with that. So you've got the foundation there. You're wrestling on a consistent basis. What's next for the Grunge City Prophet?
For me, it's really about keeping promoting my name.
Yeah.
A lot of people say to me, "Oh, you need to get Facebook to do that." No, I don't.
Yeah.
I have Twitter, and that's if people want to find me and follow me, and you know, they can hit me up on Twitter at Grunge City REV.
Nice, link in the description.
Yeah, that's all that people need to do. That's where I talk. That's where I post. I don't have anything else. People might say, "Well, that's not great because it's not the best." I don't know, social media platform. Most people use Instagram and Facebook. Well, they can jog on. I really couldn't care about them. I use Twitter. That's all I have. You want to hear what's going on in the Grunge City, what the anti-saints doing. If you want to know what's going on with the Grunge City revolution, you need to follow me on Twitter. That's the only place you'll get it. So really, it will be about getting my name, but I believe that's going to come by word of mouth, which I believe is the best social media outlet, even in this technological information day and age. Because if I can capture somebody's attention at a show by what I do, they're going to go and they're going to talk to somebody else about it. Yeah. That's how I personally see it. Some people think, well, that's a load of crap, Rev. Why would you be saying that? It's like, well, fair enough. I've got my views. You've got your views.
What's a great tool for sort of promoting yourself is obviously your match quality in itself. Promotions like Shield now are really pushing the boat out with their production values.
Yeah.
So when you're putting together your CV, you've got sort of a brilliant camera crew, a brilliant like mic setup, brilliant lighting, and it puts together like a really good perspective on you as a wrestler. So you've got this brilliant footage, and in terms of sending it out to different promotions, it's all about who you know as well. It is a very clicky business.
Yes,
but if you see a good match, you're going to share it. You're going to share someone's matches, and what we're seeing a lot nowadays is guys like putting their friends forward and saying, "This is my friend," but he's not just my friend. He also has brilliant matches. Look at these matches.
Sure.
So what I was going to say is, for these promotions, that maybe there's some other promotions that maybe need to step up in terms of catching up with the likes of Shield for their production.
Yeah.
What do you think a promotion should do itself to get its name out there, rather than just the performers on the show?
Yeah.
The brand itself?
Oh, I mean, once you start talking about that, you're going into like business management. I firmly believe if you are a promoter, yes, of course, have the passion, take your passion of pro wrestling and take it somewhere, but learn how to run a business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about. I know nothing about running a business, and I'm learning about promoting myself. And sometimes to do that, you have to take risks. But I would say there's enough particularly now, like we were saying, the technological advances and social media, you've got to use them, definitely. Use them to drive your product, and that will mean spamming up people's timelines.
Yeah.
Promote your promotion.
Yeah.
That's one thing that bugs me. Some people won't promote their promotion, won't promote their shows until a week before. And it's like, actually, you should at least be promoting it for a full month, I think.
Yeah.
The closer it gets to the date, promote it even more. Start off like this. If you've got it at the end of the month, you've got it on the 30th, the first of that month, say, this is our next show.
Yeah.
Right? As it gets closer to the 30th, you can talk about, if there's tickets left, if there's tickets at the door, the show times, you can start to review the match card. I think if you've got a promotion, promote your show, promote it well, spam people's timelines. If you're a pro wrestler who's working on that show, you better promote not only your match but also that show.
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna come. You gotta. We have to promote all of it at the same time as best we can, and everybody working together, regardless of how, if you're a rookie like me, or if you've been at the business for a long time. Promote.
What I'm looking to see at the moment is promotions are actually now sort of finally realising it maybe is time to come together. So you're seeing a lot of guys from various promotions working with guys from other promotions, and it's creating like a synergy in the Northeast scene, which it's great to see, because it is a competitive business. Like, you're always going to want your show to do better than X person's show or B person's show or whatever.
Yeah.
But when everybody's working together, it just seems to go so much more smoothly, and like now you'll see a wrestling promotion sharing another wrestling promotion's match. Yeah. And I think it's so much better like that, like as a community. Like,
agreed. It's the sense of it's not that particular. When you think about, we've just seen AEW do their first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, and I think what you're seeing is wrestling's on the rise again, and we can either return to the old ways and battle each other, or we can work together and say, okay, this promotion is more family friendly compared to this promotion. So this, say, promotion number one, being the family friendly one, will be more family orientated, it'll be more comical. Maybe the promotion number two, 18 plus, so they're going to focus more on hardcore. There's probably going to be more swearing, there's going to be, the storylines are going to be a little bit more darker and deeper, and realising, okay, let's not copy each other, let's work together and keep that split, but we can also support one another by promoting those shows or whatever. I mean, obviously a family friendly show, talking about an 18 plus show, probably not the best comparison that I've made there, but I think personally, for contract with the pro show and the trainee show, we're very storyline driven. Yeah. So if you grew up like I did in wrestling around the Attitude Era, sort of into the Ruthless Aggression era, there were stories, some great stories, some terrible stories, but there were stories, and whether they were good or bad, you were hooked to find out what was going to happen at the end. So at Contract, I believe we do a really good job of having good storyline based drama and wrestling that links in well together, and I think that's one of our strong points. I look at Shield, they are probably the same in that aspect. They're another family friendly show, and they do a good job. Their production has went up, and we have a good working relationship. You're going back to this idea of what should promotions do. I know that Shield and Contract work closely together and promote one another. I also know that Main Event Wrestling, MEW, is sort of coming into that mix too, so we're promoting each other's shows. So if we've completed, so on Friday night, Contract Pro Wrestling had its show, at the end we promoted Shield, so on the next Saturday, after the show closed on Saturday for Shield, they promoted our next show for the next month. So doing that, helping each other out, because at the end of the day, if there's enough promotions doing good quality wrestling with people coming and buying tickets, it's a paycheck for the lads and lassies, and
everyone wins. Yeah.
Everybody wins.
The promoters able to live out their dream of running a show that's also self-sufficient, and they're not paying out of their pocket because their shows are making money.
Yes.
The wrestlers are making money again, doing what they love, in a safe manner.
Yeah.
Hopefully every time.
Yes.
And like the fans are getting wrestling on their doorstep. It's like
yes.
So contract run mainly in Blythe, where obviously I've lived for my very long life of 18 years thus far. So yeah, contract run in Blythe, and I mean there's always shows that came to Blythe, but maybe one a year at most, two a year.
Yeah.
Now contract are running in Blythe, which is it's a tiny town. And it hasn't been a bad reputation as a town, but that's hopefully going to change, and has been changing over the years. But to see wrestling there on a monthly basis with like a hot crowd, it's sort of the same bulk roster of guys that are building these stories.
Local guys as well.
Local guys, yeah, especially. I mean, I think the furthest guy we had on the late show was South Shields, maybe, that came to the Friday show.
From South Shields was the furthest travelling wrestler.
So you're sort of within 25 mile of all direction of the talent on the shows, and that just proves A, the quality of the three or four schools in the area,
yes,
and then B, how dedicated the guys are that they're making a name for themselves, and they don't even have to really go that far, because you can always go to a promotion at the other side of the country and make a name for yourself there. But building a name for yourself in your hometown, it's helping out your community.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that wrestling's sort of doing now, is every town nearly has its own wrestling.
Has its own wrestling, sometimes probably has its own school. Whether or not that's a good school is also important, particularly for wrestlers who are beginning or wrestlers who are continuing training. Be at a good school with a well-known local wrestler. For us, we are trained by Assassin. 20 years in the business. He's wrestled many big names. I watched a match not so long ago from an old main event wrestling show, and he was against Sheamus in WWE now, and D'Lo Brown at the time in a triple threat. So if you've got somebody who's mixing it up with big names like that in the wrestling business, clearly they do a very good job of training. I've enjoyed my training. Of course, I had a good strong basis where I went to NGW. I was trained by Rampage Brown, who all in all is probably the best heavyweight British wrestler. I also got to mix it up with Screwface. He's now off to NXT UK, so he clearly knows what he's doing. He taught me really good basics that I hold on to today. Of course, when I was at NGW, I had the privilege of having a bit of training time with Primate, another quality guy. He's now working for NXT UK. So you have to make sure that the people you're training with are good, solid teachers with good backgrounds. You can watch their matches online via YouTube or whatever, or these on demand, so you can see just how good they are, and I've benefited from all four of those people in training. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time they've taken to put into me. Obviously some have done it more so than others. Been training with Assassin a lot more than I have probably with the guys at NGW. But I remember things from each of those teachers, and I hold on to them every time I can.
That's the thing, like being able to. If you kind of think of yourself as a blank canvas, you've got a bit of paint from one part, a bit of paint from a different shop perhaps. Someone else has come along, finished you off, but that painting's never going to be complete.
Sure.
There's always going to be more to add. Maybe a bit of colour here, but
even when you've been doing it for years, talking with Assassin, he'll say this, he's learning stuff all the time as well. and sometimes learning stuff from us trainees. You know, and I think that's a good teacher. Is they're in charge. They're the coach. They're a good coach puts all the fundamentals and basics into a wrestler, and then I think everything after that is sort of like you're learning and you're exploring. You know, you're saying, would that actually work? How would that feed? How would that move feed into that move? And a good coach will help you in discovering that. And you're taking things in, but you got to be a sponge. You got to soak up what you're hearing, but what you're soaking up's got to be good. It's got to be good knowledge.
We have, well, now Contract has its own gym and fitness centre, which we're actually sitting in right now.
We are. I'm actually working.
It's a brilliant day at work when you just talk about wrestling. It's one of the best.
That's all I do, really.
It's never work if you're enjoying it.
Yes.
So you take a couple of classes here now, don't you?
About those? So when the idea of the gym came up, I actually didn't have a job. I was solely focusing on wrestling. Huge shout out to my wife who allowed me to stop being a paid church minister at the time and to then work with them for nothing as a support. You know, I love my wife. The fact that she's allowed me to do that and pursue my dream is huge. Love you, Sophie. Soft side of Rev coming out now. Wait till I start crying. Anyways, so the idea of the gym came up. For my own personal reasons, I started looking into making sure I was healthy and fit. I was looking at how I can train better, get stronger, and make myself look more physically like an athlete and a wrestler. Because I think wrestlers these days have a more athletic look, so how you train is important. The contract team, Assassin and Lindsay, they asked me if they got the gym, would I be happy to come help and work, and would I be happy going on to a PT course. So I'm doing that, trying to complete that. Taking a few classes on where I do the ladies boot camp, which they seem to love, they seem to enjoy. I really just try to give them a good solid 1 hour full body workout with cardio and a lot of toning sort of stuff, because that's preferably what ladies want, is toning rather than becoming bodybuilders. And then I also do the Body Warriors, which is a dynamic resistance yoga class where I take a lot of lessons and movements from DDPY, formerly known as DDP Yoga, because it ain't your mama's yoga, where you take that and we put that together, and that's really good. You did the class today. How did you feel? Spot on.
I burned and it felt amazing. Like you just everything. So it's relaxing, but also you feel like you make a change, and it's just very nice. It's hard to explain without you actually doing it yourself, but I would fully recommend it. So that's 1 o'clock on a Tuesday?
1 o'clock on a Tuesday and 1 o'clock on a Friday. And the only reason he's saying nice things about it is because I've got a gun to his head. You might have to edit that out. Actually, that might not be a very good thing to put in.
That's fine. We can leave that in. For the record, he doesn't have a gun to my head.
I don't say that. I've just got a big bottle of water.
Maybe a sword. Yeah, so that's twice a week, 1 o'clock.
Yes, so that's going well. And then we've obviously, tonight I'm taking my first junior boxer size class, which should be interesting. But yeah, we do that. The ladies boot camp is twice on the Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, and then 10 o'clock Wednesday morning and 10 o'clock Friday morning. There's also other classes, so please check out Contract Gym and Fitness on all social media outlets.
Yes, I'll be linking everything in the description. I'll put the address as well. It's based in Bedlington in the northeast of England. There's wrestling, private wrestling training on every night of the week now, I believe.
The private sessions, if you want a private session and they can slot you in, they'll slot you in. I know there's definitely, they have to do a Monday where there's 2 adult sessions. There's also a junior session and a ladies session on the Monday, but rather than me rabbit on and talk about them, I know that you'll just set all the links in where people can check.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll also have Rev's Twitter in there, where you can follow the Prophet and sort of hear about every show that he's going to be on, because like what we were talking about earlier, it's important to share the shows that you're on yourself.
Yes.
Because if not, why are you doing it? Like
no matter how small your part is, even if you're just showing up for a promo, like promote that show. It's gonna help everybody in the long run.
Yeah. And that's what this series is going to be about. So that's just been a lovely, just over 30 minutes, pretty much bang on 30 minutes from that. Chat with Rev. So yeah, this is our superstar spotlight. And if there's just anything you'd like to say, just to close it up, anybody you'd like to thank in particular? Or?
There's plenty of people to thank. Like reward shows, the reward show music will start playing. But yeah, just all those people who have invested into the character, into the wrestler that I am. I appreciate it. Like I say, check us out on Twitter at Grunge City REV. Hit us up there. Check us out at some local shows. I appreciate all the people who put time and effort into my training. I appreciate my wife because she's an absolute beautiful lady and I love her so much. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you to Lewis and Can It Kick Wrestling. It'll be good to see maybe in a year or so where I am then.
Yeah, well, definitely I would love to catch up with you then and see what the development's been. See if you've still got your Academy Championship.
Sweet, yeah.
So thank you very much, Rev.
Keep the faith, man. Cheers.
Cheers.